we're going to do the full build guide for the full Mage build. You have all the details on Wolcen Universe for my passive tree. We're going to just go over the stats first. So I'm going full ferocity so I can get the most out of my spell crit chance. If you want to see your real spell crit chance, click on your skills here. So skill tag, this is a spell and a projectile. And you can see here the crit chance is 70%. If you want to see the real damage you're doing with whatever skill you use, make sure to click on it and look at the stat sheets here. So I have just about 70% with everything here. So I'm going full ferocity to get the maximum amount of damage. I'm going to go over here. What could we look at? This is mostly irrelevant. This is mostly irrelevant. All res, I'm at 13k and 15k. This is with my gear, my current gear setup here. We're gonna look at that a little bit later. Yeah, most of these stats are just irrelevant for now. Okay, so the skills. This is all on Wolcen Universe, but I will just show them here and explain a little bit my choices. So decrease the willpower cost for Aether Jump. We don't need that. It doesn't really matter because we gain willpower really easily with Infinity Blades that we're gonna see a little bit later. Increase the range of the teleport. I like this because I want to go fast. Okay, so I like going fast in my runs, and increasing the range makes me teleport like a longer distance. Aether damage dealt to enemies, just to get the stasis stacks. We're gonna get them anyways with Anomaly, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to take. This is like just about the same as this one, but yeah, it costs 2 points. This I don't like. Cast again within a certain time frame. You will teleport to the start of a point of your previous teleport. Don't feel like you need that. You don't need this. You don't need that. Decrease the cooldown. This is very good. If you have maximum cooldown, you will teleport like each 0.5 seconds. So instead of taking like this rune, which allows you to teleport all the time like this, with no cooldown, you can just take this one and you're gonna teleport once. You're gonna do a couple of attacks, and then you can teleport again. It's pretty fast. It's not the fastest, but it will not drain all your willpower, because this other one here, it drains all of your willpower. You see this big black bar, and then yeah, it just drains everything. Increase your attack speed score and spell casting speed. So spell casting speed is actually good. It increases all your animations for your spells. Since every skill we use here are spells, since everything we use are spells, it's going to increase the animation of everything, including the attack speed of Infinity Blades. So spell casting speed affects the speed at which you hit with Infinity Blades. So we want that. Generate willpower, we don't care. Decrease willpower cost, we don't care. Enemies around the cursor, swap location with you. I've never tried it, but I don't feel like it is necessary. This one is very important. Casting this skill removes all crowd control effects that are affecting you. So if you're stunned, if you're whatever, this will remove all the crowd control effects. So this is very good. So if you're in trouble, you can just teleport away. And increase your movement speed. I really like this because we move faster. So next one, Anomaly. I always take these runes. Increase the skill area of effect. The skill deals damage. The damage is actually pretty good. You can see here 8k to 10k, and it will tick like quite a few times with this other rune. pulls in enemies multiple times, so each time it pulls, it deals damage. Increase the duration. You can cast 2 of those, and increase the critical damage dealt. So you can cast two of those, one on top of each other, and it will do big damage. So the other runes, like you could possibly switch this one for something else. I did not test if crit damage was really better than 10% average damage or crit score. You have to do the math, but you can't go wrong with these runes. Some people use health globes, but we won't, because we are actually picking up all the health globes with this one. Plus 15 radius for picking up health globes. We're gonna pick up everything on screen. And with this node, 4% health globe generation, which is gonna be our only healing ability. So go like this for Anomaly. Lightbringer. Lightbringer is one of those spells that is like, it is one of the most versatile spell. It is mobility. It is crowd control because it stuns. It gives you a buff to your all res score per enemy hit, and the buff is actually very noticeable. My all res can go up to like 30k. I can go up to maximum all res just by hitting enough. If you anomaly a pack and then go in and hit enough mobs, you will have maximum all res. By the way, the maximum you can get up to is 90% damage reduction. So yes, it is an incredible spell. Also, this node, Sudden Dehydration, adds a weakness chance score to this skill. This tooltip is wrong. They changed it in the last patch. It is actually 100% chance to inflict 1 stack of weakness and 1 stack of shock on all mobs that you hit. So this will synergize very well with Immortal Offering here. This basically inflicts weakness and shock on the mobs 100% of the time. So weakness and shock, we're gonna stun them. We're gonna leave an area of effect that leaves damage over time, and the damage is pretty good. Increase the speed at which this skill charges. So you can, if you see an Untainted starting to spawn, you can charge it, and then this is gonna be even more damage when you charge it. We already talked about this one. The all res buff is very good, and increases the damage dealt. This one actually, I don't know if we could take something else. You generate willpower, element chance, crit chance score. I did not calculate if the explosion dealt, if the explosion deals a lot of damage or not, but I'm just taking this one for now. You could switch this one for something else if you want. So Lightbringer, really good. Another thing to say about Lightbringer is that Aether Jump, if my cursor is very close to my character, I'm pressing Aether Jump right now and I cannot teleport. Okay, I need to be at a certain distance to teleport. With Lightbringer, I can, if I want to do micro adjustments, I can do a micro adjustment, and my character will actually move. So yeah, it is mobility, it is all res, it is two stacks of Immortal Offerings, and it is a stun. The stun, you can use it to instantly break bosses or Untainteds or elites and champions. So by break, I mean when you hit them enough and you break their shield, they have a little shield icon above their head. So that will make so that they take more damage from all of your spells. They will take more damage. They will not move. So you will be able to kill them much more easily. This is a tremendous spell that people don't really know about. Tear of Ethereal. This is our main damage skill. With this one, the skill's area of effect now deals damage over time instead of instantly. Average damage minus 50%. The minus 50% is not a real 50%. It is an it removes 50% from all of your damage bonuses. So since it is very high, 50%, unlike here it's written 792 because of, this is only from my stats, but you have some on your skill tree and everything, so it is not a lot, and it ticks. So every tick does a lot of damage. It is one of the best spells. With max cooldown, you can get 3 at the same time before the first one expires. So you can stack, if you stack them 3 on top of each other on a boss, say, or on an elite or something, it does big damage. Big damage. So your whole kit is like, say you anomaly, you go in and you tier, it is just a huge AoE that, like, yeah, it melts everything. It melts everything. So I take this one because sometimes on bosses you will run short on willpower. If you don't kill the boss fast enough, you could run short on willpower. So sometimes I use this one if I'm feeling very confident that about my willpower. This increases the damage by quite a bit, but increases willpower cost. I prefer like this. These two, the cooldown, you absolutely need, because you're going to be able to cast them much more frequently. Converts the base frost to fire. I really like this because it gives us our fire element stack, and I build my character around fire damage as well, so I take this one. We already talked about the damage over time, and increase the critical damage dealt. So, I mean, these two, you could take something else, maybe a little bit more damage if you want, or I just like playing like this. I like playing like this, yeah. Let's go to Plague Burst. So, alright, Tier of Ethelial, big damage. Big damage. Plague Burst, another huge damage, huge. So for every mob, whenever an enemy is killed by this skill, they leave behind an area of effect that deals toxic damage over time. So that toxic damage over time, or that area of effect, it will deal a lot of damage. So our damage is here. It will tick for this, and so let's say you anomaly 10 mobs together and they all die under an elite or under a boss, and you had Plague Burst. The clouds that are gonna be here are gonna do huge damage. So if you can get a big area with clouds, and then you can stun someone in it, he is gonna take huge damage. That is one of our biggest damage. Tier in this, like, all the kit is good damage, but if you can get a lot of clouds of Plague Burst in one spot, it will probably do the most damage out of all of our kit. I convert this to fire because I'm based on fire, and like it does a little bit more damage. I don't really care about all the other ones. I could possibly use this because this one will. I could possibly use this. I might try it. When cast, this skill has a chance to summon monsters as allies, and with this node, every summon that die in a 20-meter radius, they have a 10% chance to drop a green globe, and it does 30% more damage as poison for 10 seconds. This 30% more damage is multiplicative with all your damage. So we could use this, but yeah, I'm using this for now. Increase the skill's area of effect. The skill can be cast at the cursor's location. Toxic to fire. The clouds. Increase the damage dealt by the explosion, and increase the critical damage dealt. So that is what I use. This one, the two most important ones. So this is Infinity Blades. It's your filler ability. So when I run, I do all my other abilities, and then I hold Tier of Ethelial and Infinity Blades. I hold them. So whenever Whenever the cooldown is up for tier, it will cast tier, and whenever it is down, it will just use Infinity Blades. You generate willpower each time an enemy is killed, and you generate willpower when inflicting critical hits. Since we have 70% critical chance, we're going to generate a lot of willpower. So this is our sustain. It can work with below 70%. It just the more the better, right? I haven't tested all of the nodes here, but this works really well. I did not min-max all the nodes. I would still have to do a lot of testing. Yeah, but if you use this, you will be fine. Increase the damage dealt with the skill while you have Force Shield remaining. We always have Force Shield because we are taking this one, Fate Leech. Dealing damage, you will transfer all of your Health Leech for Force Shield Leech. So yeah, you're always gonna have Force Shield. You have a chance to summon an ally that inflicts one hit on an enemy. This thing, I think it works. Why I use it is the ally that you summon. I think it actually works with this one, Horde's Vitality, with your summon that die. So when he dies or when he goes away, he might drop a green globe that increases your damage by 30% multiplicative. I think. I'm not absolutely sure, but I'm using it. If you don't have the trial belt, to inflict curse stacks, you could use this one. Converts your aether damage into shadow. You could use this one. Just make sure to keep these two for your willpower. And these two. Inflicts a debuff on an enemy that increases the damage they receive from spells. And this skill grants a buff to the damage with the base damage type of this skill. So every skill that has some kind of a modifier like this, or just about like this one, that increases your damage dealt based on the damage type of the skill, it adds a lot. So here you see 17k. If I use the skill, I got my buff, 19k. And you can have a lot of those on your bar. If you just want to boost like one skill, you could use a lot of those. So that's why I use this. And increase the damage dealt for every element stack. I use this one, but this is not our main damage source. This is our filler. Our main damage source is going to be the Trial Belt, Plague Burst, Tier, and Anomaly. Like it's going to be like everything, but yeah, I'm not trying to boost this as much as possible. So this is for the skills. Okay, let's go with the important nodes. We'll check the big nodes that we can check this. I'm going like this because I want cooldown. We could go this way for crit damage, but I like having a lot of cooldown. I want max cooldown. That is why I took all the cooldown nodes. Cooldown. And then I took this one for 60% crit chance, and this one for 60 crit damage. I took these for the movement speed. They are not necessary. This one as well, movement speed. I just like going fast. This is the most important one, Immortal Offering. Killing an enemy that is inflicted with ailments gives you a temporary damage increase buff. So for each five ailment stacks that you will get, it will give you 25% multiplicative damage. That is like the best node in the entire skill tree to deal damage. If you want to deal damage and you are not taking this node in your build, I believe you are doing something wrong. This is the best node in the entire skill tree. You have to use this in any build that want to deal damage. I don't really need this one. I could path here for more movement speed, but I kind of like the 18 all res, so I just take one more node and take this instead. This one, you can now apply +1 additional ailments. It is very important. You see how all my skills can deal burn and weakness. uh, burning weakness, stun weakness, stasis weakness. So it allows all your skills to do 2 ailment instead of just 1. Very important. Okay, the EOS tree. Beacon for the Lost. Beacon for the Lost is one other multiplicative node. It will increase your damage by it's about 35% multiplicative when your force shield is above 50%. This is an incredible one that people don't really take much. People are starting to take it more, but it is multiplicative, so it is much better than anything else. Like that 25% is not the same as this 25%. This 25% is additive. This 25% is multiplicative. It is huge. If you just look on my tier, I am above 50% force shield. So it adds this one adds sacred damage. Okay, it adds sacred damage. If I look here, my sacred damage is almost 5k. My sacred damage is almost 5k. It is higher than anything else except my fire damage. Even on this one, sacred damage 3k. It does almost more than the base of this skill. Aether damage 3.1. It is a huge damage increase, very big. So you want this. We'll move this way. This one I take. Okay, this one I'm not actually sure about this one, but I don't really know what I could take else. Maybe another movement speed or something like that. Why I say this is because when we are around a lot of mobs, we usually just kill them instantly with the trial belt or with all of our skills. It is not trash mobs that are going to be our big problem here. It's going to be bosses. We need a lot of mobs to kill the boss fast. So this one I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one, but I take it. Anyways, it is a flex node. It is a flex node. All the movement speed are flex. This one is flex. You could change it a little bit if you want, but this is what I take. So this one, each globe give you 30% damage as poison for 5 seconds. This is multiplicative and they stack with each other. So it is very good. This one, it does not make these globes last for 10 seconds. This one only makes the globes from the summons last for 10 seconds. Since we have this summon here, I take it. I could remove it though. And you could also have this one, that chance to summon a monster as allies, so that would synergize with this one as well. I take this one to get easy poison stacks for Immortal Offering. I take this one for easy poison stacks. This one is just, it's a flex node, like 25% for a 1 point investment is pretty good, even though it is additive damage. Okay, here we go like this. Salvatory Anchor and this node, it is very good to get a bonus all res from your chest and helm. So that is mainly your only source of all res. That is mainly your only source of all res. So if you see here, I have like 13k. If I remove this, I have 6k, and if I remove this, I have not even 2k. So this is a huge damage reduction. I don't take this one anymore. I used to take it, Disallowing Vessel, for the 60% damage increase and all res core. But I feel like we don't really need it. We are tanky enough, and I prefer taking those two 10% crit damage. So we got this. This one is just for the cooldown. Okay, let's go this way. We got this one, Health Globe Generation, 10% crit damage. Two very important ones. This one for damage, and this one for Health Globe Generation. This is our only healing. This is all that is gonna heal us for our health. Since we have this node that transforms all of our life leech into force shield leech. So we are only leeching force shield. Our health is only gonna be, we're only getting health from the health globes. This synergizes with this to be above 50% to get our 35% damage multiplicative, and with this, when you are at full force shield, you take 30% decreased damage. Huge damage reduction. I take cooldown here, and I take radius for the health globes here. This plus 15, you pick up every globe on the screen. You pick up these globes, and you pick up the green globes here. So this synergizes very well with this node and this node. And then we go here to grab our Fate Leech, and we're gonna have some Life Leech from spell damage with these two. This one is just movement speed. It's a flex spot. So if you're not as high level, I would ditch all the movement speed nodes. Probably this one, all the little small ones that you don't really need. This one here, possibly these crit damage nodes, crit damage nodes, this cooldown node, this movement speed node. So there are a lot of flexibility in the build. Okay, so we were here, and then we go here. Which time cannot heal. I did not test this, but I have been told that this is not actually 200% like double damage. This is not actually double damage. I am not sure. I did not test it myself, but I feel that we still need to take it. I did not test, but it feels like a big damage increase. And then this one is just for damage mitigation. Just for damage mitigation. So yeah, and this one is for the element stacks, but I think I'm gonna remove this one. I did some testing, and curse stacks at the moment seem to be bugged and not work. So curse stacks seem to be bugged and not work. Oh, I forgot. Mark of Impurity nodes. Is this what I'm taking? Yeah, okay. So you can either take this setup, or you can take this setup if you want the mark to spread. These are the two best setups that you could take. This one for full damage. This one if you want the mark to spread more to more enemies when it explodes. You can test both. If you want maximum damage, I would go like this. Keep in mind that I tested this yesterday. This crit damage node is always worse than damage received than this node or this node. And weight of culpability does not work. Weight of culpability does not work at the moment. So never take this one. It does not work. Tested myself yesterday. So that is about it for the passive skill tree. I go full ferocity. You can go full toughness if you find that you're dying too much. It doesn't really matter. You're just gonna miss out on some crit. You could go like this to have like a lot of health. Still at 53% crit chance. It would still work. You're just doing less damage. Something I like with this build is try to be at like around 20% spell casting speed. It's gonna make it so much smoother on you. If you don't have the gear to make it to 20% spell casting speed, try to put a couple points into agility maybe. Okay, next. The stats you want. The stats you want on your helm and chest. You want heavy helm and heavy chest. It's gonna be double all res, cooldown transfer time. The rest is like, yes, damage is good, or yes, by the way guys, I have percentage damage here because I did not build my setup before they fixed the elemental damage thing. So I did not try it with elemental damage yet, but I will in the future, and it might be better. I actually think it should be a little bit better, but you're not gonna feel it that much. So whether you get percentage damage or elemental damage, you can use both. So, double all res, cooldown transfer time, main stat and damage. Main stat is huge, guys. 50 points of your primary stats is 25% damage. 50 points of your secondary stat is 20%. tertiary 15, quaternary 10. So it is always better to get, if you can have a 85% ferocity roll, it is better than a 45% um, elemental damage, because you're getting crit as well, right? You're getting crit and damage, and just about maybe a little bit less damage, but yeah, crit is very important. So double all res, cooldown, transfer time, main stat, and damage. Same thing here, double all res, cooldown, transfer time, main stat, and damage. I have a cult, I haven't been lucky. I would ideally need just flat regular damage or elemental. You got a trial belt. It doesn't matter the all res score. Just get a trial belt, any trial belt. If you don't have a trial belt, you could go for something like this: triple flat to spells, and like this one is not the best, but triple flat to spells. I would do elemental damage, fire damage, and crit damage, or something like that. One of the most important parts is your accessories, with a lot of flat damage to spells. For the pants, ideally I would get. I'm actually not that sure. As long as you're tanky enough to feel okay in the run, go for all damage stats. So here I'm using Sorcerer pants. These are not the pants I would like. I would like probably Rogue to get 10% movement speed, and I would probably get like I don't know. To be safe, you could go with like double health, cooldown, transfer time, damage, and main stat, something like that. But this is my setup here. I don't have the perfect gear. Here I have double health, movement speed. Movement speed is very important to go fast. Main stat, damage. So here I use a two pieces of rogue. I have one with spell casting speed. I kind of like spell casting speed, so I can get 20% here. 20% spell casting speed just makes everything smoother. You can dodge easier. All of that good stuff. So, I mean, the ideal stats, you absolutely want damage, rage reduction, and main stat for your damage part, and then the rest is flex. It is flexible. You could go for double all res, double health, double force shield. You could go for spell casting speed, crit chance. Yeah, the important one is just percentage damage, rage and willpower cost, and your main stat. And then the rest you can decide on whether you want more damage reduction, or not damage reduction, but like more health or all res or stuff like that, or if you need more crit. I'll finish with the jewelry. Your weapon. The only important thing to know is you need triple offensive 2 sockets, and socket that with gems. That is all you need to know. I socket with Aether so that my anomaly can inflict stasis, and it actually increased my damage from all my spells. Just test with different things, or just put Aether in here. I tried with all fire, it wasn't doing as well, so I got Aether gems here. Nothing fancy. Make sure you got crit damage and try to get transfer time. The rest is just bonus. So crit damage, transfer time, and 3 offensive 2. Your catalyst. You could either go 2 flat to spells rolls and spell damage, or 3 flat to spells. Try to get the lowest transfer time base. And then I would recommend spell crit chance, spell casting speed, and crit damage. Okay. For your accessory, your amulet, try to go with a plus 20 all attributes, Omni Star. It's going to be quite a big damage boost, because it's going to boost all your damage here. So triple flat to spells. Ideally, I would probably say elemental damage, fire damage, and crit damage, but I don't have it right now, so that is what I use. This one is pretty good. Triple flat fire elemental crit and triple flat fire elemental crit. So this is pretty good. Also, you want to socket this with the spell crit chance to boost your crit chance even more. If you're missing transfer time, you could go with transfer time instead. You could also maybe go with the plus 25 willpower regen if you really feel like you're missing willpower on bosses. If you're missing willpower on bosses too, you could go with these pants, Veiled Eclipse, and then you just switch this one to shadow damage. So it's gonna make it so that your Infinity Blades is gonna use Rage instead of willpower. Veiled Eclipse pants could be good. It could be good. I think I went over all the gear. So that's for the gear, the passive tree here, my choices, why I chose all of that. We have the Mark of Impurity runes here. I'm gonna do a quick run, and then I think we're gonna be done with this guide. I'm gonna do a quick run with this. So basically what I'm doing, I'm rolling my face on my keyboard. Honestly, this build really plays well. You see the clouds of Plague Burst, they do huge damage. Huge. It is very, very big. So there is no real rotation here. Just go in and cast your stuff. Or cast Plague Burst and then go in. Or just go in. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Try to get the Clouds of Plague Burst under the elites, and try to remember that Lightbringer can stun mobs. It can stun elites. Like here, if I stun him, wait, well, he went away, but like he's instantly broken. Like Lightbringer is underrated. Lightbringer is very underrated. So I haven't played this build for a few days. It is still very, very easy to play. It is very, very easy to play. You go in and you just cast your stuff. You go in and you just cast your stuff. The way I play it is not the optimal way, honestly. I go in, I Anomaly, and then I Plague Burst, but I should always Plague Burst first. So you see how he instantly got broken with my Lightbringer. He instantly got broken with the Lightbringer. Broken right away. So I died. I stayed in front of him. Doesn't really matter. Dying doesn't do much in this game, guys. There is no penalty for dying. So also the type of weapon that you use, it doesn't matter. Whether it's a gun, a dagger, doesn't matter. Any one hand will do. So that is about it. I think that is it. Okay, guys in chat, did I miss anything for this guide? Can I close this guide now? This is for you guys on YouTube as well. I think if you have any other questions, please comment below, and I will answer all the comments, or hop by my Twitch page, or yeah.